What if one of pop music's most guarded icons carried a secret so explosive it could rewrite music history? For 40 years, whispers have clung to Janet Jackson like glitter after a show. Sparkling, stubborn, impossible to brush off. Did she and R&B heartthrob James DeBarge welcome a child the world was never meant to see? Tonight we dive into the maze of clues, contradictions, and cover-ups and ask, was a Jackson heir hidden in plain sight? Picture mid-1980s. Hollywood glare. Janet is 16, charting her own path under the watchful, famously rigid eye of her father, Joe Jackson. Cameras flash at the '83 American Music Awards as NBA superstar. Magic Johnson bends down, arms encircling her waist, their lips brushing for a split second that rockets across tabloids. To teenage Janet, it's a thrill. To fans, it's a scandal. To critics, it's a hint that celebrity men orbit with dangerous proximity. Those snaps stoke the first flames of gossip culture that will soon engulf her. All behind the velvet curtains, Joe drills rehearsal schedules and curfews, controlling every haircut, every interview. Janet, weary of being choreographed off stage as well as on, craves one thing: autonomy. But the move she makes next detonates far louder than a paparazzi flash. Las Vegas, September 1984. In a chapel lit by neon more than stained glass, 18-year-old Janet marries 24-year-old James DeBarge, Motown, golden boy with choir boy falsetto and demons in his back pocket. Friends say the elopement is Janet's jailbreak from Joe. Yet freedom sours fast. James is fighting an OD'd spiral with pills that rattle in every jacket he owns. Janet turns caretaker, patrolling streets at 2 a.m. to drag him home, flushing capsules down hotel toilets while he claws to retrieve them. She's barely legal, yet navigating crises that would buckle veterans twice her age. The marriage implodes within a year, annulled and archived as a youthful misstep. But in the wreckage lies a rumor far stickier than divorce papers. On the set of TV's Fame, castmates notice Janet's sudden curves. She chalks it up to birth control bloating. Common, she insists. Skeptics aren't buying. At the '84 American Music Awards, she strides on stage with her brothers. Tito drapes his blazer strategically over his arm, shielding her midsection, but telephoto lenses still glimpse a gentle swell. Soon, an aunt working in a Los Angeles convalescent hospital swears Janet visited, visibly expecting. Fans recall hiatus gaps, canceled appearances, mysterious wardrobe choices. Each snapshot piles speculation higher. Was a Jackson DeBarge child quietly growing while cameras rolled? The gossip pages had questions, but the DeBarge family believed they held answers. James's sister Bunny claims Janet vanished for months, re-emerging flat-stomached and tight-lipped. His daughter Christina, born years later, confides on talk shows that she feels a missing sister. In 2012, from a prison cell, James pens a letter to Dr. Conrad Murray, yes, the same doctor tied to Michael Jackson's downfall, insisting the child exists. Enter Tiffany White, an Atlanta woman who steps forward as the alleged daughter. James's mother submits to a DNA test. Results crush hopes. 0% match. Rumor mortally wounded? Hardly. James vows the hunt won't stop. Each negative test paradoxically renews the chase, like tearing off a hydra's head only to find two more sprouting. For believers, the sheer persistence proves authenticity. Why keep digging if treasure never existed? To believers, the Jackson camp's silence is equally damning. Joe Jackson's management style is legend. Contracts signed in blood, reputations shielded with iron gates. Conspiracy theorists imagine a covert adoption arranged through industry allies, sealed records, hush money, non-disclosure. They point to other image control maneuvers, choreographed TV apologies after the Super Bowl, wardrobe malfunction, swift litigation against tabloid fabrications. If a teenage pregnancy threatened Janet's trajectory, would the family move mountains to bury it? Documents could be sealed, a newborn whisked to a relative, the rumor managed as crazy fan fiction. Commentators highlight pop culture's double standard. Male stars, sire, surprise children, and shrug. Female stars risk branding as reckless or unmarketable. Yet in 2022, Janet herself finally faces the cameras, eyes glassy, but voice firm. The two-night Lifetime A&E documentary Janet drops, and millions tune in for what they hope is final closure. Janet lists every outlandish claim. She gave the baby to Sister Rebby. She hid the baby on tour buses. Her niece Brandy is actually her daughter. She laughs, then her composure cracks. "I could never keep a child from their father," she says, tears staining mascara. Commentators seize on the lawyer-like phrasing, a denial of concealment from James, not a direct, "I was never pregnant." Twitter explodes into dueling hashtags, "Leave Janet alone" versus "Gendarme's secret, Jackson baby." For skeptics, her careful wording reignites suspicion. For fans, it's proof the rumor is a vampire that won't die, even when staked by the source. And just when the dust seems settled, a new generation picks up the tale. TikTok sleuths remix clips of the AMA belly shot, overlaying slow zoom circles and ominous bass drops. A Medium expose, published only days ago, reassembles every quote from Bunny, Christina, and James, trending on Twitter within hours. A rough cut of DeBarge, a documentary screened at Slamdance this March, shows James living in an RV at 61, still clutching decades-old letters addressed, "To my daughter." YouTube commentators churn fresh thumbnails. New DNA bombshell? Magic Johnson involved? Each click pushes the mystery higher on algorithmic waves, proving the internet loves an unresolved cliffhanger. But beneath the clicks lies a deeper cultural magnet. Why does this rumor endure? Because it blends every addictive flavor. Forbidden romance, family dynasty, addiction tragedy, and the ultimate taboo, motherhood in the shadows. For a woman in the spotlight, pregnancy is either celebration or scandal. Secrecy offends our voyeuristic entitlement to celebrity bodies. The tale also speaks to systemic power, controlling fathers, industry gatekeepers, and the media's appetite for spectacle. Whether real or fabricated, the story mirrors countless women's battles for autonomy, only magnified through Jackson-size fame. And that brings us to the question no headline can answer. If the 80s rumor mill was powered by tabloids, today's sleuths wield terabytes. On Reddit threads with names like Gr. Hidden Jackson, amateur genealogists file Freedom of Information requests in Michigan and California, hoping a clerk will unearth a birth record with the surname DeBarge Jackson. Others feed VHS stills of that AMA belly shot into AI upscalers, hunting for a shadow of a maternity seam. Yet the harder they dig, the more they discover a neat row of locked doors. Court adoption files sealed, "In the best interest of the child." Hospital logs purged during 1990s digitization, and a mysteriously missing page from the DeBarge tour ledger for spring '85. Conspiracy or coincidence? One thing's certain, the digital age hasn't killed the mystery. It's supercharged it, turning every fan with broadband into a private investigator. And that brings us to the most powerful tool of all, the global DNA marketplace. In 2025, more than 80 million people have mailed a cheek swab to genealogy giants like Ancestry DNA or 23andMe. Volunteer search angels comb these databases, linking third cousin matches into sprawling family trees. If Janet and James's alleged daughter, or her children, ever spat in a vial, algorithms could light up like Christmas. Former Motown insiders claim James once kept a baby photo marked Monica 85, now scanned into GED match waiting for a hit. Meanwhile, lawyers warn that if a sealed adoption took place, any breach could trigger lawsuits against the Jackson estate, raising the stakes for everyone involved. In short, the next revelation may not come from a press conference, but from a push notification. New DNA relative discovered. When that ping happens, the internet will melt faster than vinyl on a summer dashboard. Which leaves us with one final question. One only you can help answer. So, did Janet Jackson and James DeBarge bring a child into the world only to exile her from the spotlight? Or is this the longest-running pop culture mirage? A rumor fed by coincidence, blurred photos, and our need to pry? 40 years on, proof remains elusive, but curiosity only grows. Drop your theory in the comments, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the next page of this mystery could surface tomorrow and you won't want to miss the scoop.